Hey, this is BTRADES coming to you with another trade review from Friday, February 6th, 2026. We had a big gap up and then just continue to pump all day. We chopped a little bit after an initial upward movement, opening drive, which cut through the cloud. And then we had some aggressive market participants, buyers specifically, come in and really fight just above the 5-day moving average, which ended up delivering us all the way through to Wednesday's value area, which I had mentioned earlier in the pre-market analysis. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts and check it out. Okay, and you can see we had red folder news at 8:30, which did not result in much of a reaction from price. And there was another red folder at 10 a.m. Both of them didn't seem to have much of an impact, and it kind of seemed like price was already had in mind where it wanted to go today. And so right from 10 a.m., we had an opening drive that just went right through the cloud. And initially, I did say that my bias was for shorts as long as we held below the cloud. But one of the benefits of waiting until 10 a.m. is that we got to see the bias shift in the market. And also, there was a large trend line from this whole week that was broken right with that change in state of delivery to bullish price action. So that opening drive actually did go up over the cloud and closed a few candles above. And then we started consolidating at that point. There you can see here that at 4:46 or 9:46 Eastern, I shifted my bias to longs and then highlighted the value area from Wednesday, which was between 68.93 and 69.52 with a POC at 69.27. And we actually ended up getting the high of day from Wednesday, which was just above that, 69.55. So this was very accurate. I think the high of day today was 69.59. So just shows you the benefit of waiting that initial 30 minutes and to be flexible with what it is you're looking for and your bias. If the chart or price is showing you that there's a change in state of delivery, listen to it. So after that initial push, like we never really had any downside. We shifted into a positive gamma. All the gamma shifted as well to positive. And then in that positive gamma environment, all the dips are being bought up. So it kind of results in a nice gradual like stepping stone climb up to higher highs. So we'll have a push and then we'll consolidate, and controlled selling, push again, and that was the pattern that we had today. Let's just jump in the charts right now and take a look. Here is the B zones chart, and you can see this is the trend line I'm talking about, and this is going back to Monday. Um, the end of day on Monday, we had this consolidation up here that pushed down from that big seller at 7015, and then we were respecting this trend line through Tuesday, and then Wednesday had gapped down. But then today, with the gap up, we kind of left a little island down here at Thursday, and we pushed up. And I remember I had mentioned on Wednesday that these aggressive sellers that were right here in this area, about halfway down on Tuesday, held price down on Wednesday, and that I thought that price would want to revisit this area. Um, and then I'm actually looking for a downside reaction from this area, but we'll see what the Globex Open and Monday bring. So you can see we cut through the cloud, and then we cut this trend line here, and we had this trend line liquidity, and we broke and retested it. So a lot of people were probably looking for shorts in here and probably got cooked, just because they didn't have the bigger picture in mind and see that we had shifted to a bullish state of delivery. And also the 5-day SMA was above us. So that did signal, it was kind of mixed messages because that was kind of bearish intent. So I didn't want to take longs or shorts in this area. I was just waiting. What I wanted to see was displacement above the 5-day SMA and then a retest of it. And that 5-day SMA was about, it was moving up throughout the day, but it was about right here at this point. We'll go ahead and make that yellow. And yeah, that's it right there. Make sure we have a horizontal line. So you can see that we're doing the stepping stone, and all dips that were sweeping previous candles were bought up. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Here we have an inefficiency on the 5-minute chart. This was at 12:25 that this was formed. And then we created some displacement above the 5, came back, wicked in underneath this candle, but the candle body is respecting the inefficiency. So we have the inefficiency in the B zones level, which gave us the push to the next level and a nice um, 7.5 to 1 trade here. I took that with small size again. Wanted to protect my profits for the week. And you can see we actually did run up to actually the next level, but not before a lot of chop. They had to build a lot of liquidity here before being able to push here the last 20 minutes. But this one was a much bigger trade, but also a little bit risky. I don't really like to trade in the last hour. But you can see like this required a lot of patience. So through all of this, I was not trading, even though I had woken up at 4, did my pre-market analysis. I was just watching the charts, watching. Didn't take my first position until around 12:32. And I was actually okay with logging off. I was about to just log off for the day. Uh, because again, being a day trader doesn't mean you have to trade every day, and risk off is a position. And this is something I preach over and over again, like that the main thing about consistency and profitability is having the discipline to wait for your setups. And if you're having some indecision or mixed messages from the chart according to your strategy, then it's best just not to take the risk. So don't take that C setup or that B minus setup. Wait for your A plus. And if it doesn't show up, then don't trade because a large winning trade is really the same thing as avoiding a large losing trade. As far as your P&L is concerned, they have the same impact. So try to like really shift your mind away from like finding money every day to avoiding losses. Like you should actually be looking for reasons not to trade. If you're going to put risk on, you should have all your check boxes ticked off. I have that pre-trade checklist that you can use to help you with that. And if you want access to that, go ahead and feel free to go to this bio.site/BTRADES, join the mailing list here, and I will send you a link to the checklist. And this is an idea that I was talking to my students about that again, most traders are positive with their win rate. They win more than they lose, but they just take outsized losses and then too many frequent losses. So really the journey to profitability doesn't necessarily have to do with winning more, but I think losing less and avoiding the really big losses. And one way you can do that is to be as patient as possible for your confluences to stack up, whatever it is that your strategy may be, that you have to be committed to that and really be very disciplined because trading is unforgiving. You know, you again, you can have an 80% win rate and then just stray from your strategy and then oversize and DCA and everything is blown out of the water. There's been professionals, people who've been on CNBC who've blown millions of dollars in hedge funds. So this is not something that any person or trader is immune to. And actually, I was reading that professional traders at prop firms, like real prop firms, physical buildings, or money managers, every professional has about 3 risk managers that can have access to their size, can cut them off, can pull them out of trades, can liquidate them. So if that's somebody who's a professional, imagine like what hope does a retail trader have in their pajamas in their bedroom alone clicking buttons? The human psychology is a very fickle thing, and we are not logical creatures. We are emotional. So sometimes the things that we do don't always make sense. And definitely it doesn't make sense to be building an account for 3 or 4 months and to lose it all in one day. But it happens. People remortgage their houses, they lose that, they go into debt, they take loans. So the trading can be a very addictive and dangerous thing. So it really requires the utmost respect. And the way that you can show that respect is by journaling, having a strategy that you stick to, using small size, and being patient to wait for your setup. So these are the priorities to me is risk management, having a good strategy with edge, having discipline, and having patience. If you're missing any one of those things, you're not going to make it. Okay, so any questions about today's trading? This was a 4 to 1, I think, that I had taken. It worked out well. Ended up a green week again for me. And again, if you're interested in getting this pre-market analysis or joining in the voice channel, go ahead and check out that bio.site/btrades. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Aloha.